So a time period drama starring both Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt as two actors trying to make it in 1960s Hollywood? Hell, sign me right up. Hey, what's up guys? It's Jakeem the Nerdy Python coming at you with yet another movie review. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is the 9th film by Quentin Tarantino, and it's been all over the media for quite some time now. Ever since, back then when I made my top 10 most anticipated films of the year. I realized that it was on everybody else's list, but somehow it completely escaped my radar. But sure enough, once the trailers finally started coming out and I realized that it was going to be more of a dark humor comedy involving the Manson family murders, I just knew I had to be part of it. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood stars Leonardo DiCaprio as actor Rick Dalton and Brad Pitt as his stunt double Cliff Booth, and the two of them are kind of struggling to stay relevant in 1960s Hollywood, which is considered like the golden age of entertainment. This movie is everything I expected in a Tarantino film, and I highly enjoyed watching this large ensemble of characters interact with each other, which included the likes of Margot Robbie, Dakota Fanning, Al Pacino, Kurt Russell, Timothy Olyphant, and many, many more. But with that being said, it still wasn't perfect. So starting off with the good, let's talk about the cast. Leonardo DiCaprio was amazing as Rick Dalton, and he was highly convincing as this aging actor who feels his time at the top sort of coming to an end. So he drinks and smokes himself to bed every night, just sort of desperately hoping for his next big break. He was definitely the more dramatic and emotional of the two, which cost us for a lot of great humor, and I would say that this is one of DiCaprio's best performances. Brad Pitt did great as his stunt double Cliff Booth, who in contrast was the more stoic and reflective one that just sort of took life as it came and didn't sweat the small shit. If you ask me, Brad Pitt was just born to play these too cool for school roles, and most of his scenes show him doing badass things like jumping fences to get to the roof of a building and fix an antenna, riding in his car with the windows down and music blasting, and even playing hard to get with some of the most beautiful women just because he could pull them that easily. Margot Robbie played Sharon Tate, who was an inspiring actress during the time and the typical hot blonde that we see in film. She had a very cute innocence about her, and you feel very concerned for her future, as we all know what happened to her during the Manson family murders. Whenever she was on screen, I would look at the couple to my right and they just sort of ball up together in anticipation for what's going to happen next. And it's that kind of provocative emotion that makes the film stand out. Dakota Fanning was surprisingly good as Squeaky, who was the mother bear of the cult, aka the Manson family, with a very sharp tongue. She had a very boss-like and authoritative presence that lets you know right from the jump that she's in charge, and I really enjoyed watching her just sort of boss around all these other grown men and women. I don't know what film it's inspired by, but every time I think of Dakota Fanning, I just picture like this very young and helpless, unassuming blonde girl. There was another young actress whose name I couldn't find for the life of me, but she played Rick's 8-year-old co-star and was just so fucking intelligent for her age, and even got in a whole philosophical conversation with DiCaprio about method acting, which was just completely mind-blowing. Everyone else that I won't go into detail about, like Kurt Russell and Timothy Olyphant, also did amazing here and feel very relevant to the main plot, which is something I gotta praise Tarantino for, as his characters are always very deep and interesting. The cinematography really captures the scope of the western lands filled with these very elevated mountains and dry deserts and valleys overlooking LA, which in itself just came alive at night. There's this part towards the end where it's nighttime and one by one all the city's venues become lit by these very bright neon signs, which really evokes this sense of longing for a night on the town. This film also has a great soundtrack that fits perfectly with this 1969 Hollywood setting and really makes you feel like you're there. Songs like Kentucky Woman by Neil Diamond play on the radio as, Cliff drives himself and Rick around town, and I couldn't help but nod my head to familiar tracks and others that were just too catchy to ignore. Just like Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, it has a good amount of dark humor that's just completely hilarious and includes everything from Rick losing his shit in embarrassment after choking on a set to him crying tears of joy after being complimented on a job well done. There's also this part when Brad Pitt's character Cliff is trying to feed his dog and the dog doesn't want to eat the food, and I forgot exactly what he said, but he was like, "I would toss this shit out of the window," which is just completely hilarious and easily translates to "fuck you, you ungrateful bastard," and something that anybody else I know would say to their dog. What I love the most about this film is that it gives us a very, what I believe to be realistic look at the life in showbiz as Rick and Cliff try to stay relevant in the industry. There's moments where the film seamlessly transitions from, the cast acting in real life to them acting as their characters within the film, which is just so uncanny and unnoticeable until one of them fucks up a line. It's just like, wait, okay, I fucked up, can we stop? And then the director's just like, okay, cut, get your shit together and let's get back to work, which is just so amazing to see as a fan. It also shows us how acting is a job just like any other, where the actors have to take a break between sets and sort of relax and recuperate before returning to work, which really adds a lot of perspective for the stars we see on TV today. There's only a few things I could nitpick this film about that really don't stack up in the end, starting off with Bruce Lee. The actor playing him looked and sounded like him enough, but just felt way too cartoonish and annoying for, you know, a person who we all see as a legend in the industry. Another thing is that it can feel a little slow as it focuses more on the characters, so if you go into it expecting over-the-top action and thrills throughout, you're going to be disappointed. But even that works as, you know, all the characters for the most part are very interesting and well fleshed out. Last, it ends in typical Tarantino fashion, so it'll be shocking as well as confusing for first timers. At the end of the day, guys, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is an amazing tribute to the golden age of Hollywood. It's funny, entertaining, and even has a level of suspense that really just keeps you engaged and at the edge of your seat the entire time. I don't know if I can recommend it for everyone, so I give it a very modest 3.5 out of 5 snake eggs, and feel that, you know, true movie fans will enjoy it most of all. Have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? What did you think? Leave your comments down below. If you enjoyed this review, make sure you subscribe and tap that bell for notifications. There's also links to my social media posted down in the description below. And as always, Nerdy Python is out of here.